Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk podcast here every Tuesday and Friday. I'm Ollie Davis. I'm joined by Luke Owen, DAD. And if you haven't already, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. That could be on YouTube, it could be on Spotify, it could be on Apple Podcasts, or it could be on my face. That's right. Get on my face, everybody. Listen to me, the podcast. Because for an audio podcast, people who consume podcasts in a traditional auditory way?
Which I would probably wager is the older section of our audience.
Well, I don't think we can say that because the numbers are heavily in the video split.
Yes, that is true. I'm only basing that upon when that young person said to me over the Christmas period,
yes,
what podcast do you watch?
Yeah.
And I said, you listen to podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And they were like, no, you watch them on TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah, it's very important to take one isolated anecdote and apply it to populations writ large.
It's the Twitter way.
But yeah, if you can't see it on the audio, obviously, because it's audio, I've got a cap on with a QR code. Genuinely with a QR code. The QR code took some bashing. This time, not through the audience, not through Luke, but through my patience with all the QR code services out there that say it's free and you set it up and it turns out it was a free trial. Mm-hmm. And when that happens to you twice in a row, I get a bit disillusioned. But then what comes through the post, Luke?
We get this letter from a longtime Patreon backer. Hi lads, love the podcast. My bro and I are the Patreons Johnny Trash Flowers Sharp. Hope you get a kick out of these and our non-podcast QR gag ones. Those are just for fun. Feel free to do them as a giveaway if you want. Thanks for the work you guys put in. I have a podcast in my mind that I will never do that's called Sharp Shooting. That's from John Sharp.
What could the Sharp... Oh, it's just him giving shoot opinions on things.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, the other hats are wildly offensive.
We cannot wear on the stream.
The Trash Flowers guys. Go over to their thing and check them out.
You'll see. So I have one as well, but I was trying it on and I was looking at myself in the mirror. And long-time watchers will remember I used to wear a hat on camera a lot as a way to hide the fact that I was going bald. Wish I'd worn in that Cultaholic video because
hindsight's 20/30.
A lot of bullying for that video. But anyway, therapy, thanks. Anyway, I used to wear a hat, but people used to say that I tuck my ears into my hat because hats sit on my head wrong. And I've always kind of struggled with hats. I've now got a hat that does fit me quite well. And I was like, well, maybe this one will fit me. I don't think I'll be wearing this hat in public.
No?
Well, I mean, I think if I was in my 20s and I was really trying to push people towards my podcast, yeah, this is a great marketing thing. You and I are going to a podcast industry thing in May. If I was in my 20s, maybe I would do this as a sort of thing.
We've got to wear them.
I don't think as a man in my 40s I can get away with it.
This is how we're going to get to talk to Gary Lineker. The king of podcasts.
It even says on the back, a broadly fine podcast, which I really like. But anyway, this is what happens if I put this hat on. So it sits fine there, right?
Yeah, but it makes your head look too large.
So now I need to pull it down,
You're a cone head right now. What are you doing wrong?
I'm not.
Can you not wear it without pushing your ears? Like mine are it's just sitting on my ears.
But I think my ears are too high on my head. So this is what happens if I put the hat on, and it's going all the way down.
But mine's not all the way. Mine's not flush against the top of my head. There's some breathing space in there.
So
there's a little loft.
How much breathing space? But then you said if I did that, you said my head looks too tall. I look coneheadish.
Yeah. I don't know what's going wrong. I'm going to come round.
Okay.
Okay, let's try and just sort this.
Yeah. Okay.
You probably want to talk just to give some audio.
I don't know. I think the audience at home are getting exactly what they want.
I mean, son of a bitch, you have got a weird head.
Right?
I've made it look worse.
Yeah. So this is why
I've the Nutcracker.
I've always worn hats very weird, but I do have a hat now that does suit me very fine. Annoyingly enough, actually, the one we got from Patreon, we went to that Patreon event. Kind of does sit on me fine.
Yeah, what's that, like a 5-panel hat? Is that what they call the style?
Yeah. And again, if I was in my 20s, I'd probably wear this hat quite proudly.
It's doing a funny thing to your ear now.
It says,
one ear is drooped. Well, here it is. It's a QR code. I'm not going to wear it for the entire time. I'm going to wear it for one more shot where I sip from my brand new Judge Dredd cotton mug.
Right, this is one of our longer rambly intros. We've got a good 6 minutes. There was a period of time where you would have hated that we got 6 minutes and haven't got to the main topic.
Yeah, but then we settled into our groove and stopped caring as much. Look how cool I am. I've got my own brand WrestleTalk t-shirt. I've got a QR code hat that links to my own podcast and a Judge Dredd mug.
Mug Dredd.
I think my fiance might call the wedding off.
I'm creating.
And on this episode, we are going to be talking AEW Dynamite, of course.
Yes, the Ass Index, is that making
The Ass Index is here until the end of Wrestlers.
And we're going to be kicking things off, talking about WrestleMania 42 and the fact that it is utterly hypeless.
Yes, we've made a pun. Well, we're very happy with this. It sounds like the word hopeless, but the fact is hypeless. So, we are now 4 weeks out from WrestleMania 42.
I'm going to pause you there. I was shocked by that when they said it on Raw, that we are 4 weeks away. Because I even think I said on a previous episode, maybe last week or the week before, we've got 8 weeks till Mania. We've got time. It's only really hit me now in this week. I was like, oh no, there isn't actually that much time before we get to WrestleMania.
Yeah, Paul Levesque did this last year where he is both taking too long and rushing at the same time, weirdly.
Mentally weak sprinting.
It's odd that... thank you for popping me and no one else. That'll make sense when a Monday Night War episode comes out in 3 months' time.
About 3 months' time.
It's weird that we just had Revolution, and then the Dynamite is like, and Dynasty's coming up. We're setting up this tag match and this world title match. And it's the week before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Where this week's Raw is building WrestleMania. But anyway, we're 4 weeks out. That means we have 4 episodes of Monday Night Raw left and 5 episodes of SmackDown because we haven't had this week's left. This is the classic pay-per-view cycle.
And we think, I would say as best guess, there are 9 matches still yet to be announced.
Yeah, so
7 on each night.
I'll just go through the card as confirmed so far. We've got 5 matches. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, Jake Cargill versus Rhea Ripley, and Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar.
And 4 of those matches were done by stipulations that happened in January and February. Sort of standard way of announcing matches for WrestleMania. So, like, those were matches announced and they are coming and they are doing broadly fine things on TV for them. Actually, I would say the Punk and Reigns stuff I think is great. Thought the angle on Friday for SmackDown with the Cody turn was really, really good. With the Randy turn was on Cody was really, really good. There's nothing going on with Stephanie and Liv, and there's like the only interesting thing about Jade and Rhea is the real life beef between them, and they're not leading enough into that. God, the segment they had on SmackDown was rubbish. And then the other one we got is announced on Monday, which is Brock versus Oba, and that's genuinely really exciting. I think where my issue comes with, and we'll sort of talk about this writ large, it doesn't feel like there's much else that's bubbling underneath. It was like, where there are matches, we're like, oh yeah, they'll probably announce that. But there's no excitement about those matches being announced.
Yeah, I sort of went through the entire roster. You know, when you do this, you go onto Wikipedia, look at the whole roster and go, okay, well, you could face him, you could face her, or whatever. And of the other matches that we're probably going to definitely happen, we've got Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. We said on Tuesday's Raw review episode that Lesnar going off with Oba likely means their confident Rollins versus Breakker will happen. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre?
Yeah.
Probably going to happen.
I think that will likely happen. Jacob will win and Drew will take time off.
We've got the Usos versus The Vision. I mean, it's happening next week on Raw, but maybe... Yeah, but I still don't know.
Well, maybe it won't happen at Mania. Maybe it'll just happen on Raw and they'll... I don't know.
Well, maybe it'll be a trios match, and it'll be LA Knight and Usos versus Vision and other. I don't know. Whatever they're doing.
Paul.
You're right.
The Usos and LA Knight versus Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and Jake Paul.
it's two sets of brothers. Or
no, that's it. That's right.
This is the mistake we're making we're thinking that LA Knight's going to have a WrestleMania match. It's just going to be a way to build the Usos versus the Pauls, managed by Paul Heyman. 3 Pauls. They're on the pool. Get your coat, Usos. You've pulled a WrestleMania match.
You've pulled a WrestleMania.
We've got the women's multi-team match, which is just, of all the things, just crushes me that it really does feel like we are building to some 6-team schmoz when I felt like we were going to get this beautifully condensed TLC match.
Told you.
25 years after X7.
And actually, someone pointed out in the comments, I think it was on Tuesday's show, there's always SummerSlam.
Yeah, well, that great 26 year...
26 years after they did it, the first
actually,
TLC.
That does make it the 25th anniversary, though.
Yeah.
Okay, well Okay, give me hope. They'll probably do a 12-team one at that.
Yeah, they'll do a 12-team one, so 24 women, and it will go 18 minutes.
We got Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. We've just had that match, but this will be the rematch, probably with a stip.
And I think that's good. I think that has been, very slowly built over the last 6 months, but it has been built.
Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio.
Now with no title on the line.
Yep. Will it happen? We could be extended out even further. There's this report that Jelly Roll might team with Royce Keys. This, I feel like this is that sort of WrestleMania disinformation season.
Yeah.
I read that and I think WWE are chucking out disinformation to throw off sites.
I mean, you say that, but Jelly Roll did that segment with The Miz and Kit Wilson, so you'd think that maybe that will lead to something. And Royce Keys, the report is that they were adamant that they wanted him on the main roster, not going down to NXT. He got that big Stephanie McMahon podcast deal. They clearly want to do something. I say clearly. Apparently. They want to do something with him. And they have opted to not. But maybe now they will. This episode's going out on Friday. Who knows? Tonight's episode of SmackDown features the big main roster debut of Royce Keys.
Yeah.
And he comes out to save Jelly Roll from Kit Wilson and The Miz.
Yeah. So that could be a tag match there. The Americano Civil War. Some people are into it.
Who?
Some comments. I don't know. They're probably robots. Something for Io, hopefully.
She's in that women's tag match.
She's probably in the women's tag match.
Because she's not in the IC title match. And the other thing to do, we go to SmackDown and we face Julia or something.
Yeah. And then I've just got men's IC title, women's US title, men's US title. There's various things they could do, but I don't feel like any of those have a proper single storyline right now. I think we'll get a lot of multi-person matches there.
I think that women's US title one is going to be a big multi-woman match. Like maybe a 4-way, Tiffany Stratton within there. But I think you're heading for 4-way town with that one. And likely it'll be the same with Penta. It'll probably be Penta, Dragon Lee,
Javon Evans.
And Rusev.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels...
That feels right.
Disappointing enough. That feels hypeless. I guess what we're getting to is the Lesnar-Ober Femi thing feels like a genuinely exciting match.
Can I add one more other match?
Go for it.
Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams.
Yes, yeah. Do you reckon that could be blended into a 4-way with Fatu and McIntyre?
Yes.
A de facto number 1 contenders match?
I mean, it's another way to do another multi-man match, I suppose. The report was that was on the cards to do at WrestleMania, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams, and do it as the Brett and Austin double turn.
Oh, so Sami turns heel.
Sami turns heel within that. Trick turns babyface within that match. For the record, I am not completely against the idea of heel Sami Zayn because I'm quite enjoying the character that he's got on SmackDown at the moment. But I think if you babyface Trick Williams here, you are in danger town of Flanderizing him, and I don't think that's what's making him cool at the moment.
Yeah. Well, so we can't deny that the big men's feuds are starting to hit. So Brock Lesnar over Femi, hugely exciting.
One angle and I'm in.
Punk Reigns has been consistently either very good to absolutely excellent, and that is a big time match that will main event night 2. That's got the interest there, and was the first match announced, right? That's going back to the start of February. And then we've got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. It's been a bit of a convoluted way to get there. The Drew McIntyre title reign, Cody beating Drew on SmackDown. Interestingly, I've got some ratings news for this. I know we like numbers. The post-Chamber episode of SmackDown did 1.19 million.
Mm-hmm.
That was down about 200,000 viewers on the previous week.
From a post pay-per-view bump, which is usually unheard of.
A post pay-per-view bump with a Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes WWE Championship match. Good point, actually, yeah. That everyone thought, well, Cody might win.
Is that the week where they were moved? Because there was one week they were moved to a different channel.
No, I don't think
it
so.
was that week.
I don't think so.
I'm just trying to think of reasons why this one might. And the other thing, Nielsen weirdness.
But nothing has changed over this period of time. At least there was no strong competition. To me, that says moving away from Cody versus Drew again was the right idea. Because the following week, which was last week's episode of SmackDown, 1.419 million. That is up, 250,000 views. That's the second biggest of the year. The only other biggest one was the post-Rumble episode. Makes total sense there. That's usually one of the biggest ratings of the year. So this Randy heel turn, people are into it.
Well, I mean, it happened on that show, right?
Yes, well, people are way more into the idea of Cody versus Randy.
Yes.
Because they've been building it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And they haven't had a match like Drew and Cody have run into the ground, arguably.
When people are talking about Cody and fans turning against Cody and people paying to downvote Cody Rhodes videos because they have nothing better to do with their time and money, it would seem, the normies are into it.
Yeah.
This is much more of a casual audience match. Randy Orton going for his 15th world title, is
correct,
it?
Yeah.
Correct, his 15th world title. Cody Rhodes, the poster child of WWE, the blue-eyed babyface. And now you've done this pretty hot heel turn angle. It'd be interesting to see what the ratings would be like for this week's episode. Because if the ratings go up again, then you can definitely point to and be like, it was the right decision to go with Cody and Randy, which by all accounts was what Cody was pitching. I think it should be me versus Randy at WrestleMania.
Well, look, it's undoubtedly a bigger match. And with the Randy heel turn, all this stuff. And we were, we all love Drew, but the Cody versus Drew feud was no longer interesting. I suppose
it's been going on for too long. That's the problem.
The only other thing you could have done would be, that multi-man match, or maybe you did a Drew versus Randy Orton match as a surprise. I don't think that's as big. It's not got as big a story.
It needs Cody in there.
Unless we go Splinter Cell again.
I think we're looking at all the options you had. This is the biggest draw that you had. Cody versus Drew is below that. Cody versus Drew versus Jacob is below that. Cody versus Jacob versus Drew versus Randy is below that. The 5-way is below that. The 6-way is below that. The best ultimate option in terms of box office appeal is Cody versus Randy. The problem I suppose you've got there is it would have been better if you'd have done this weeks ago. So if you'd have gone with what the original plan was, which was, and Cody and Drew were pitching for, which is that Drew wins the title at WrestlePalooza and then drops it to Cody, say at the Royal Rumble, or, maybe a week before the Royal Rumble, then you could have been building Cody versus Randy for a stronger period of time.
Was that the plan? I didn't know.
Well, that's what they were pitching, was for Cody and Drew wanted Drew to win the title at WrestleMania.
Yes, I remember that now. Which would make that main event I think the C grade might have been bumped up to a B-.
Well, it would have felt like something happened on that show outside of John Cena getting squashed, which everyone wanted to forget happened.
So there's lots of stuff they can do. I guess those 3 major men's matches are all very good. I think the women's side has just completely collapsed on them, which is a real shame because that was one of the strongest elements of WWE's booking last year, particularly going into Mania. That 3-way Rio, Belair, Ripley.
Yeah. Rhea.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good match. I mean, it felt like Ripley was sort of shoehorned into it somewhat, but the storyline of treating Io as the third wheel, but then she was the one that won, I thought actually was really good. And that then built this story of Rhea cannot beat Io, which then kind of carried them through for the rest of the year. Didn't do an Evolution. Then they formed this tag team, and we were going on a really nice trajectory, but I really get the impression TKO panicked and told them, get Rhea out of this tag scene, put her in a world title program, move her to SmackDown, and she's going to be facing her versus Jade.
Yeah, Bianca Belair's not going to be back in time. You need something bigger for Jade. So yeah, that's the card as we've got. But it just, I guess, right now I don't feel as excited about it as I have in previous years at the month out point.
And I think that is reflected in those ticket sales.
Mm.
It's not just the price point. It's a combination of the two. It is really expensive, and it is not worth the money that you're paying for because it's not a good enough product for the money they're charging for it. Case in point, and we mentioned this a few weeks back, they gave a discounted rate, and it didn't shift any tickets. There's no excitement, there's no hype for this show.
Yeah, I'm just trying to compare it in my head to the previous Levesque years. So 39, just finish the story, Cody. Like, that was a really compelling story going in. WrestleMania 40 is the greatest WrestleMania of all time, one of the greatest storylines of all time. Rock, Bloodline, Cody, excellent.
Yeah.
Last year was John Cena's heel turn. While the rest of the storylines were, pretty good or maybe just decent, the John Cena one was like, this is your A-plot. This is the major thing carrying the momentum into WrestleMania. This year, while everything's, Cody's facing Randy, makes total sense. CM Punk versus Roman, I've enjoyed the segments. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, boy, didn't he go up high for the powerbomb. It's lacking that major storyline that carries everything else forward in its wake.
Yeah, to that point, the hype around John Cena's heel turn and the excitement for that match really was able there to paper over, man, this Jey Uso versus Gunther thing is ice cold. Mm-hmm. Like, it really did actually cover up a lot of, I don't want to say naffness, but midness, maybe. And I think the same can be said for 40 as well. The hype around The Rock and the Bloodline papered over the Final Testament and whoever Bobby Lashley's crew, the match that they had. That was the match they had at 40?
Yeah, but there was also loads of other good things. You had the Gunther, Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn wasn't Chad Gable.
Yeah, but that's it. That was the point I was going to make. There was a lot of it should have been Chad Gable, though. Sure, great, it's Sami, but the story was actually much more interesting when it was Chad. But it doesn't matter because there's so much excitement happening at the top of the card. Here, there's excitement at the top of the card over for Punk and Reigns, but it's not the same level of excitement. It doesn't feel like chaos. It doesn't feel chaos. It just feels like standard programming heading into a show. Yeah,
I totally agree. What do you all think? Let us know your thoughts on the WrestleMania. You're interrupting my throw to the next segment.
Because we haven't talked about the biggest thing here.
Oh, Gunther, yes.
Gunther. I'd hate to derail because that was going to be a really good throw to the next segment.
You're right to derail me. That was an appropriate derail.
But the word is currently, that Gunther's scheduled match for WrestleMania, originally going to be Brock Lesnar, has been moved out of that one, was him versus Ray. That's why you're doing the Dragon Lee stuff. But now Ray's hurt, and Ray's not going to be at WrestleMania.
Well, potentially, yeah. He sort of fractured his ribs before the Rumble, still worked the Rumble, but then had time off to heal. This is a bodyslam.net report.
Which means that if Ray's not there, neither's Gunther.
Yeah.
Do you know how massive this roster is? That you had one thing, and if that one thing isn't happening, you're like, oh, God, got nothing else for him today.
Honestly, this is when I was going through the rosters. It's not that massive. They haven't got that many stars.
Oh, they haven't got that many stars. They've got a lot of bodies, though. You could try and build something. Like, the whole purpose is to try and build stuff.
But Gunther's set an expectation for what he does at major shows now. He's just retired John Cena. He then retired AJ Styles. For WrestleMania, if he then fights LA Knight, then it's like, oh, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
They've set an expectation for Gunther. So do you reckon Rey Mysterio was going to have a retirement element to it?
There's been sort of speculation of that, right? That he might retire this year. And he would be another one that could fall to Gunther.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. But, I don't know. It just seems mad to me that if you haven't got one guy, then you're like, well, I guess Gunther's just not on WrestleMania then. And, Sean Rossap was talking about this on The Hump. And he was like, I cannot fathom a world in which Gunther is not at this year's WrestleMania. Mm. And while that is a completely respectable point to have, a lot of people were saying that about Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania 39. There's no world in which Bobby Lashley is not on the WrestleMania 39 show. And Bobby Lashley was not on WrestleMania 39.
Well, you know what he did instead?
Came out, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Is that what we've got for Gunther?
Maybe he wins a Battle Royal on SmackDown and he can come out and pose with that trophy.
And then he retires the trophy.
I like that.
What do you think, everybody? I'll do the throw now. Let us know in the comments. If you go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk right now, you can watch the exclusive series over there, Monday Night War.
That's right. It's Tag Team Turmoil. It's myself and Ollie Davis, the Chub Thumpers, teaming up together to take on mentally weak Sullivan and even more mentally weak Dan Layton, the Rattlers, who every single week will crumble under their own ineptitude to our booking might.
We are spending about a day a week at the moment playing this game against them. It is so much fun. I cried. I was laughing too hard. I felt like I got a full ab workout.
Yeah. Particularly yesterday's shoot, when we came up with Sprint.
Our new team name.
And what Sprint means. I haven't laughed that much in a while.
It's just the idea. It's a marathon. Biggest season ever, 50 weeks long. It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's what Dan keeps saying. But what if, Dan, you just sprinted all the time? What if you sprinted a marathon?
My argument was, surely you could just sprint the marathon.
Yeah.
And if you sprinted the marathon, you'd win. And Dan was like, no, you got to pace yourself. I was like, but if you just sprinted and you could do it, if you could just sprint the marathon and you were able to do so, you'd win it.
So that's our strategy. We're going to sprint all the booking. And I don't know of any famous fables that would teach us otherwise.
Well, in fairness to the one you are talking about there, it was the hubris of the rabbits.
Yeah, he got cocky. He stopped sprinting.
If he'd have just kept on sprinting, he would have won. The fable isn't that the tortoise won by, being slow.
Right, you're right.
The fable is the rabbit lost by stopping.
Yeah, he fell asleep.
And
we're not going to fall asleep.
we're not.
Because we're going to be too busy sprinting. Anyway, you can also get a shout out on this very show, like the man who wears the gold, the man recognized by SWAFT International, Nation International, whatever, as the 24/7 champion, our legend.
Daylight Robbery, Rob James.
Bebop and Rob Steedley.
Rue the Day, Rari, Ubri and Kelly.
The man with the scoops, Sean.
Hear Me Roar, Sirotu, Lion.
The Pharaoh, Stephen Mazzaferro.
The Incredible Tarzo.
Keep rolling, the Rick Peck.
Commentator of the Century, Vince Phillips.
The Candlestick, Wick Wilkinson.
And lastly, for this Hall of Fame class, on Friday, the 20th of March, 2026, the Iron Zeke. A functional episode of Dynamite.
A functional leaning towards bad.
I was going to say boring. I would have said bad, but boring.
Well, I think the crowd are a big issue. This was a terrible crowd, and we've had a run of really good crowds, and they really, add the excitement to the show. I do think there were some structural errors with the show that make it bad.
I agree. I think there are two glaring things missing here. Number one, not a strong main event. The match that we got, fun though it was, that is a middle of the second hour trios match. That is not a main event match of the caliber that we have had this year, where it has felt like that is the main event of this show. Didn't have that. Number two, didn't have MJF or Hangman Adam Page. I think there is a bit of a curse of wrestling at the moment, which is, we've got time. Whereas sort of back in our day, or sort of back in the sort of car crash era days of TV, is if you did a big angle on the Sunday, you then follow that up on the Monday. And you imagine the Invasion, if you will. That's because we've just watched that show. We've just reviewed it. So there's a link to it in the video description down below. And you did that Austin heel turn at Invasion. And then on the following Raw, Austin wasn't on the show. And Vince wasn't on the show. And Angle wasn't on the show. What else would you like? You'd be like, why are they not on this show? Where's the follow-up to this to get me really excited for the next chapter of this story? But the argument that we have a lot with wrestling now is that you do this big angle and it's like, well, we can do it in 2 weeks' time. There's no rush for us to get there, which is fine. And it's not a completely wrong way to look at it. But it does mean then that this show has none of the big bite that's coming out of the big pay-per-view, which is what's next for Hangman Page.
Yeah, if you're doing that stuff, you need to have really good stuff and arguably stuff that makes sense in its place. My issue is with the show, mainly the crowd, to be honest, but also it was confusing.
Why would you say it was confusing?
Well, they didn't know what was going on with Tony Storm, and also
Which was attacked backstage.
But then they were saying Marina Shafir decked her, and then I thought it was confusing, and I thought they were confused when they were. I don't think they knew what they were saying at the start. And then also the number one contenders bit, I thought was really back to front.
Which what
Kenny's saying, "Well, you number one contenders, let's put it on the line," and Swerve cuts a promo where he's like, I didn't know that was for the number one. I didn't know I was the number one contender.
Oh, I didn't get that. I thought he said he knew he was the number one contender. But he was saying, well, what I really need on top of that is the power that you have.
Let's go through the show because we're jumping around and we can do those one by one. I thought the start of the show was really strong, which was Will Ospreay coming back. Oh, God, when they said his in-ring return, I was like, no, please. Please, this is one that we shouldn't have right away.
I'm glad they had at least this follow-up.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you got this the worried reaction as we all did, but at least you did something big at the pay-per-view, and then you had a follow-up to that on the next show.
This is a passing of the torch. Hangman's having a rest. Will Ospreay's the number one babyface now, really.
But he's not in the top program.
But he is the number one babyface of the promotion.
I don't think he is.
Okay, I think he is. But he has a match against Blake Christian. Blake Christian's very good. Even though Will was loving it and he carried himself very well, I do think he was telling the story that he is not 100%. There's ring rust there because Blake got so much in. Genuine near falls.
This is a bit of an AEW trope that they came under fire from some people during the pandemic when Kenny Omega had that match with Alan Angels, I think it was, and he gave him a load of like near falls and stuff. And I was like, it's a squash match. And the point that some wrestling historians made was, this is what squash matches used to be, which is that you give the person something and some offense, because then when you beat them convincingly, you beat a someone and not just a jabroni. So I think that's what they were doing here. But Bryan Danielson was certainly adding to that on commentary by me saying, like, he had worse neck surgery than I had. And I was out way longer than Will's been out. He's only been gone 6 months. That seems wrong.
You know that they've... the sort of medical tape that wrestlers have when they're sort of protecting themselves from injury. Claudio always seems to have it on his shoulder. It was all over the back of Will's neck. I don't actually think that was to protect him. I think it's literally holding his neck in place. But it wasn't really Will that beat Blake here. I thought Blake was on the way to beating him, goes for the hidden blade himself. So a sort of act of arrogance. And that's what let Will outsmart him, hit the hidden blade to win. So I thought it was a really good, well-told match.
Yeah. I thought it was good stuff. A good return for Will.
And then Mox appears in the crowd after Will grabs a mic and he's like, the biggest difference between Mox and him is that he doesn't need a weapon to snap someone's neck. He can do it with his bare effing hands, mate.
Yeah. Big old F-bomb on the show.
Yeah. And Mox appears in the crowd. Will just goes for him. I
like
the sort of on-site nature of their rivalry. But Pac jumps Will, gets him in the brutalizer. Of course, that's round the neck. And Will momentarily sells his neck. And I thought, are they doing like a stretch a bit here? Nope. He's run up the ramp and he's beaten up Pac while the Bang Bang Gang are making their entrance for the tag match.
Quite enjoyed how chaotic that felt.
Yeah.
But I did get a little bit of that pang of worry that I had coming out of Revolution, which was like, I don't want to go backwards with this Jon Moxley character. I've been really liking this Mox character. But here, it did feel like we were just heading backwards because it was the Bang Bang Gang of Ace Austin and Juice Robinson against Moxley and Yuta. And Mox was just heel.
Yeah, he worked heel. Yeah, definitely. And the Bang Bang Gang were worked over. Daniel Garcia interfered, bits like that. I think there's enough shades of grey in Mox's character where he can do it respectfully with Will. You know, Will hates him so much. It is somewhat pushing Mox into a position. I trust them to be able to do this without sacrificing all the, what do you call it, growth that Mox has had.
I hope you're right.
But the match was fine. You know,
It was fine.
I feel like we've had
Way better Moxley matches.
We've been spoiled so much by just every match on Dynamite being great.
Yeah.
And this was fine.
It was fine.
Gabe Kidd had a video package ahead of his Darby coffin match. Meet me in the parking lot.
Yeah, I didn't love all this Gabe Kidd, Darby Allin stuff.
No. Then Kenny cut a promo on Swerve, says, let's take on each other again for the number one contendership. And then I was like, what? Was Brody versus Swerve a number one contenders match?
That's where I think my first bit of confusion comes in. And I think my only bit of confusion I have around it comes in is that I did not know that the Brody King match was a number one contenders
because
thing.
it wasn't. That would have made the match have even more stakes.
Yeah, I think it's sort of retroactively been made that.
Yeah.
Or been like, oh, now that he's done it, he's the de facto number one contender to the title.
Yeah, I really think they should have more number one contenders matches on pay-per-views and stuff.
Just did. Grand Slam, the Dynamite Grand Slam that they did in Australia.
Oh, that wasn't a pay-per-view.
I know it's not a pay-per-view, although some people try to pretend that it was and then were confused about it because that's an easy way to get some clicks on Twitter, I guess. But I think you could have made this number one contenders, like, because they've literally just done it with the Hangman Andrade match.
So then we go into the Darby versus Gabe Kidd match. Tony Khan promised an insane show after Revolution. He said Dynamite's going to be insane. Oh, what could that mean? I think the show went too far. And when I say too far, I don't mean needles in mouths and stuff like that. I mean too far to the wacky, chaotic end of things. I think this show would have benefited with a bit more of a filter.
I completely agree. And it reminds me of that match between Mox and Darby when Mox drowned him in a fish tank. And I'm on board for Darby's hardcore matches. I'm on board for Moxley's hardcore matches. I loved Texas Death that we just did at Revolution. That is absolutely for me. But the drowning spot was so wacky and it was so silly that it didn't feel like, oh no, he's trying to kill him. No, it's like, no, he's trying to drown. Like, this is in a tiny little fish tank. This looks so silly. And the same thing happened here. When he chloroformed Gabe Kidd, put him in the boot of the car, then drove the car into a ramp that flipped the car over. And I was like, this is so silly. This doesn't now feel like a hardcore match with some, oh, man, I can't believe they did this. This is just silly nonsense.
Well, should we... Because wacky and silly, we do like. You know, we could say, oh, what a wacky, amazing, silly match. We loved it. Without it being lame. You know, because everyone's in on that's what we're trying to do. I think this is, maybe the word we're looking for is lame.
Maybe you're right. Because, no, I think maybe you're right, actually. Because I was about to sort of push back on that and be like, no, I think there is a difference. But maybe the comparison I will give you is WrestleMania X7's hardcore
Of course,
match.
I knew it was coming.
It's always going to come when you talk about these things. When they ride around in golf carts, it's because it's a wacky comedy spot.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They know it. They know that what they're doing is silly. Like, they literally fly through walls because they built like this little office area for them to go through walls. It's this big sort of kaiju battle thing. It's wacky and it's silly. When Big Show throws Raven through that window, it's a wacky, silly spot because it's a comedy, silly match. But here, they think this is a serious spot.
Or they think it's cool.
Yeah, they think it's cool. And it's the same with the drowning bit. They think this is a cool, dangerous, serious spot. But it doesn't come across that way. Because it comes across like they're driving in the go-karts in WrestleMania X7's hardcore match.
Yeah, without the tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
This is Seth Rollins' masked men running around. It's that sort of thing. So yeah, well, it's a semi-cinematic match for the first part. Filmed very well, I thought. But yeah, Darby chloroforms Gabe Kidd, puts him in the back of the car, like Luke said. They drive it so it flips sideways. I just thought, as soon as that happened, after the initial pop of, oh my God, I saw a crazy thing, I was like, what? Why on earth would Darby do that? Darby would take more damage there.
Oh, well, he would have been strapped in.
Oh, the seatbelts.
The seatbelts.
You think Darby seatbelts up, do you?
Well, for his sake, I hope that he did. Because otherwise, he's taking way more damage in that crash than Gabe Kidd is.
I just don't see what that does to Gabe Kidd that's so bad.
But he fell upside down.
And then when Darby falls out, he has the presence of mind to hit the boot release button.
That was funny, though.
And he falls out.
The reason why I don't think that this worked, outside of it didn't work for me, brother, is the crowd didn't react to it when they came back into the arena. Like, they came back into the arena and it was deathly silence. And Tony Schiavone just went, that was nutty. Tony Schiavone buried this in his commentary.
Well, it also just spatially didn't feel like they were anywhere near the building. They said it was the parking lot, but it looked like the middle of frickin' nowhere. So I thought, okay, you have that fight.
Maybe this is what California looks like.
And then later, like 40 minutes later, they start brawling into another match.
Yeah, that would have been much better.
So I think when they appeared right away, the crowd were a bit like, oh, but, well, now I know all of that was filmed earlier today
Pre-taped.
as opposed to right now. It didn't work. They come into the ring. It's a coffin match as well, so there's just so many layers of bits. Way too much going on. Darby puts Gabe in a straitjacket, can't tighten it up at the start of the night.
It's hats on hats.
Yeah, hats on hats.
Which I can do. I've got 3 down here.
Save that for another match because it's quite a good idea. Has Darby done that? Has he wrestled in a straitjacket?
Probably.
I feel like it because then he can still hit the coffin drop. But yeah, Darby hits 2 coffin drops, a dive outside, which was very satisfying because Kid went into the coffin and the lid closed in one fluid motion. But yeah, just like I was like, what is happening? Like what a lame, goofy match. And also, great, another loss for Gabe Kidd and the War Dogs.
Yeah, 2 things. One is that's another loss for Gabe Kidd and another loss for the War Dogs. Secondly, when Darby then said, MJF, I'm coming for you and I'm coming for the world title, I did not get the same pang of excitement as I did when Kevin Knight said it a couple of weeks ago. And I'm a Darby guy. I like Darby Allin. I know you're not.
Yeah.
And I think that's a completely respectable position to have. I quite like Darby Allin. I like his style. But when he said, I'm coming for the world title, I did go like, do you have to? I'd rather you didn't, actually.
Yeah.
And now you're dragging Andrade down with you.
I respect that there's loads of flavors of wrestling. There should be loads of flavors of wrestling and characters. Darby's particular flavor, it's not for me. But sometimes I enjoy watching him wrestle, but I'm never like, oh yeah, a Darby match. The only time was that John Moxley Darby promo that they had when they went full Dark Knight. I was like, this is amazing. We've got a lot of comments about Darby in the Patreon feedback.
Interesting. Good?
No. I liked the MJF Don Callis Darby bit though.
I will when we get to it. What I mean by that, you're dragging Andrade into this, is I wanted something cool for Andrade, but I do quite like the story that they're telling.
Hey, you know what? Call it number 1 contenders match. Handing them out like candy. A fun bit where Luchasaurus picks up Jack Perry, it's not called Jungle Boy anymore, in a Jurassic Express styled school bus.
It's the Jurassic Express. It's like a parody of the Lex Express.
And Jack Perry stands on his porch and a squirrel eats a nut out of his hand. And I thought, remember when Jack Perry was the scapegoat? That's another thing, like... when people are like, no, I'm going to be serious and I'm mean and I'm grown up now, and it just comes off a bit lame. It's like, this is what you should have done.
Yeah.
This is your tone. This fits you.
When they then did that promo in the parking lot, the Bucks not stumbled over their words, but you could see them second guessing words just before they said it. And I was like, I think anyone else would have asked for a second take. No. But to reset that, you'd have had to get the bus all the way back up to the top, drive all the way back down. Do you know what? Actually, it's too much effort. We basically got it. I think we're fine with this one.
You know who else wouldn't ask for a second take? These 2 guys. Laurie was complaining that we were one-take guys. Not in a nice way. Not like we get it perfect on the first take.
No.
And that we only have the patience to do 1 take of something.
I said to Laurie, because this is a bit of a preview for Ramble Club that'll be going out tomorrow. We've got our top 10 WrestleTalk moments going up on YouTube, and on Patreon there's a Ramble Club podcast with me, Laurie, and Ollie watching back some clips. And I said to Laurie in that episode, if you ask me to do a second take, I'll just do it the same. I will give you the exact same take I just did, because I've got 1 speed.
Yeah. And I'll be wildly different. So you can't cut anything together. There's no point.
The only time I've ever done it differently in a second take is when Pete had to go at me because I shouted my nipples are effing erect as I was leaving the room. And he said, we can't use that.
We could have used it.
He's like, do it again and don't say that.
So Swerve comes out for a promo as a counter offer to Kenny Omega's challenge earlier. He was like, I'm the number one contender. Cool. And then he went on a bit of a, let's say, a scenic route description of power. And then he said, Kenny has no leverage here. I like Swerve. This wasn't the strongest content of promo. Always a good delivery, but the crowd weren't there. So I thought both content-wise and how it was received, it was a bit of a weirdly weak segment for Swerve.
Do you know why? Because being the EVP is not a big part of Kenny Omega's character.
Yeah, so Swerve says, I'll put my number one contendership that we've only just heard about on the line for your EVP status. I was like, is that still a thing?
What does it mean?
Is he still a... Yeah.
Didn't he give it away?
I can't remember.
Didn't Christopher Daniels take it off of him?
Oh, the interim...
Yeah.
I think he was filling in for Tony Khan.
Was he a Tony Khan one?
Yeah. And Swerve and Will defeated the Bucks to get them stripped of EVP.
Didn't win their EVP ship.
But didn't win them.
They just stripped them.
They stripped them. But now Swerve wants the EVP from... Look, it's... I think they're just doing this to give next week's match some stakes when you didn't need to.
I think if I was to figure out why we're in this situation, they said we're going to do Kenny versus Swerve 2 next week, and someone said, why would Swerve give him that match? Oh yeah, it's a good question. Why would he give him that match? He could get his EVP ship, and that's how we're end up in this. They just wrote down some ideas on a whiteboard. And someone was like, oh yeah, the EVP ship works. Does it make sense? No, but at least it gives it a reason.
I think what's going to happen, because next week we will be getting the singles match, Kenny versus Swerve, which should be excellent. I can't wait for that.
But the last time they did it was awesome. Yeah.
I think Kenny wins.
I think Kenny wins
That
too.
draws them level. Swerve won by cheating in the first one. And this is to decide who faces Max at Dynasty, which is in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So... that makes sense of Kenny versus Max rather than heel Swerve versus heel Max. Mike Bailey cut a babyface promo to Renee. He's fought all over the world. He takes on Mark Davis in my match of the night.
Awesome match.
Great stuff. Yeah.
Giant Cruiser.
What a dynamic matchup. Speedball's awesome. Mark Davis is awesome. This is great.
Yeah. Mark Davis is, unlike the War Dogs, loses all the time. Yet doesn't feel like a loser.
Yeah, because he's great.
But the War Dogs have lost a lot and feel like a bunch of losers.
Max then had a promo from Revolution. It was very good, as usual.
Awesome promo, this.
Covered in blood. He just keeps having the best stipulation matches, who are other people's stipulations. He's the champion, and he just turned 30. He's going to be the best wrestler in history. He's got 20 more years of this, and now he's going to Disneyland.
30 years old. 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So much time ahead of him. I'm not comparing. In another place, he might still be within NXT or brought up to the main roster, and in a couple of years' time, we'll get to you.
Yeah, a couple of IC title runs first. I feel like they were sort of sewing some Hangman Will Renege on that stip bits here. You know, just Max talking about how long he'll be champion for, how he's got so much time. He's removed the one person who could stand in his way in Hangman Page.
Yeah, I've consigned him to the mid-card for the next 20 years.
So they've got a plan. I don't know what it is. Hopefully it's better than the Derby one. Okada, Rocky and Trent cut a promo on Perry and the Bucks. Okada's great. He just laughed at the idea that they were ever family.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, but I've got a real family now.
Yeah.
They're going to do this for the family.
Mina Shirakawa then took on Marina Shafir. Mina was replacing Toni Storm because Toni Storm had been taken out before the show went on air in kayfabe. We don't know who took her out. Marina claims it wasn't her. The reason I found this confusing was the show opened with Excalibur saying it was because of the punch at Revolution from Marina.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I missed that. Sorry, I missed that bit.
And then Bryan Danielson was like, what? And it felt like they didn't quite know what was happening.
Right, okay. I missed that. That's on me then. Because I assumed that the story they were telling is that Ronda did it.
Yeah, I think that's where we get to.
Because Marina cuts this promo saying, wasn't me.
But even then, this match was, pretty good. Hardcore match.
Crowd were just not into it at all, though. I wonder if it's because they thought they were going to get Toni Storm.
Well, they were going to get Toni Storm. Mina, lover, hasn't won a match in a year. Marina Shafir
She was a champion not that long ago.
Has become, singles match.
Yeah, she was a singles champion not that long ago. She was an ROH, interim TV champion.
on AEW.
Oh, okay.
No, on the real show. Marina's really good. I think it improved so much, but she's not a star yet, I would say. And that everyone's like, where Ronda? That was the whole thing. I was like, where's Ronda Rousey?
Sat here waiting for Ronda.
So it just had everything going against it. It wasn't just that the crowd were bad. I feel like this didn't function psychologically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree.
But Mina did win, which again is weird. It's weird for me to be sitting here like Mina Shirakawa won, which I'm very happy about, but also, what?
I also thought Marina should have won.
Marina Shafir should have won.
Yeah, because she just lost at the pay-per-view.
And I don't know what they're doing there. I don't think it worked. Renee spoke to Andrade backstage.
Loved this.
This was very good. And a man with a briefcase shows up. Don Callis is on a video call. And he says, please accept this money in the briefcase, Andrade, because Max has paid us to take out Darby Allin. I
love that. Because Andrade there being like, well, AEW World title. That's what's next to it in my sights. That's what I'm going to be going for. I've just beaten Bandito at the pay-per-view, so I'm coming for Max. Then Don Callis on the phone, and because he's part of the Don Callis family, he's like, sorry, hombre. I think those were exact words. Sorry, hombre. Can't do that because I've struck a deal with Max. So you've got to take out Darby now. I think it's a really good deal for us. It's really beneficial for us for the family.
Yeah.
And Andrade has to reluctantly accept this as part of the family.
I love this. I'm fascinated by the Don Callis family dynamics. Because they are coherent and they all work together, but man, do they not like each other sometimes.
They're a weird faction.
And Callis just plays everyone off each other. They all respect him and will follow him, but it's not necessarily to their best interests long term.
No, but Andrade does like money. And he
loves the dinero.
And he's just been given a lot of spondule. It's like, okay. Don't like this, but I do like the fact that I've got money. I could buy some smaller pants with this.
You'd think they'd cost less, but it's actually more. I think Andrade was also a bit pissed off that he's working for Max. And last week on Dynamite, Carl Fletcher was like, we're not going to work with that guy, are we?
Yeah.
And Don's like, no, you're my baby boy. I love you, Fletcher.
Exactly.
And now they're working with Max. Does Fletcher get pushed into the arms of Takeshita?
Yeah, maybe.
I love this. I really can't wait to find out what happens every week with these guys.
And what's great about the Don Callis family? They've got a load of Party Patrol nobodies in their group as well, like Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, which means you can put them out there with Okada. They're part of the same faction, but you've got two people you can pin. You don't have to just have a Hechicero out there. You've got two Hechiceros out there now.
Yeah, you can do that. Maybe not in the main event.
Which is what this did not feel like the main event of the show.
Well, I guess it wasn't, is the truth. This was a party match, nowhere near as good as recent party matches. It's Perry and the Bucks versus Okada, Trent, and Rocky. Not many standout spots, particularly after the couple of weeks of amazing TV matches and pay-per-view matches we've had. The Bucks and Perry, they're all in a tombstone piledriver position. They all bite the cocks of their opponents, and they then win with something. Mm-hmm. And then we get the actual main event of the show.
Yeah, the reason why this was the main event is so that Edge and Christian could be the main event of the show.
The Bucks cut a promo saying, yeah, we lost on Sunday. FTR were the better men. But now no one's going to stop us getting their tag titles for a fourth time. And then, quicker than you can say Evenge, Edge and Christian come out.
Do you know what? I'm going to give a lot of credit to AEW here because they're the first company in the history of professional wrestling that has recognized that Christian is the star of this group. He comes out second because he's the best part of this act.
Yeah.
Always has been, and he always will be.
Edge says FTR didn't just attack the Bucks family, they attacked my wife as well, Beth, but it's totally fine. She's actually really strong. Can handle herself.
This is proper Edge bullshit right here. He was like, they attacked my wife, but she was actually fine.
Yeah, she's really strong. She can handle herself.
Yeah, but I couldn't look her in the eye because I didn't do anything to protect her. Not that she actually needed protecting because she doesn't need it.
Equality. Shout out to women.
But mostly my wife.
My wife, she's awesome.
Like, way to undermine the entire angle by being like, "Dad, didn't really bother her."
Well, the Young Bucks, they're like, he punched my dad. Who's not a trained wrestler.
Yeah,
my dad isn't Beth Phoenix.
They call her a Glamazon for a reason, because she's actually really hard. She could probably beat both of them 2-on-1.
Avenge me. Avenge me, Beth.
He is the car flipping over of wrestlers.
You know what though? I've learned to enjoy it. Evenge is just He's not going to live that down in my head.
I didn't think he would ever live down Brood Edge, and in some ways he hasn't. I do think he is. I do think he's quite lame.
Yeah, it's crazy because he was. I mean, were we all fooled?
No, we were 14.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? But this was good. It's exactly where we should be going. They have a tense stare-off with the Bucks. Then FTR come down because Edge and Christian announce the first match for Dynasty is them versus FTR for the tag titles.
Massive.
In Vancouver, Canada. Perfect.
Love that.
And then FTR come in, babyfaces beat them up, stand tall, and they both go to pick up the tag titles, and they do it together.
Yeah.
And there's that tense moment, who's going to have it? And it's just telling you, without telling you, Edge and Christian are very likely going to win the belts from FTR, and then they're going to face the Bucks.
And then, maybe at All Out, they'll do that at Double or Nothing, and then we'll get to All In, and they'll do the three-way triple threat, TLC, Edge and Christian, Bucks, FTR.
I never thought.
25 years after they had their match at WrestleMania X7, they're going back into their TLC ways.
But if it's an All In,
we'll be there.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
And it's a TLC match. That's it. That is the 25th anniversary of SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah.
2000, the first TLC match.
Yeah. And 25 years since WrestleMania X7. Which is nice, right? I think we're heading that way. I think we're certainly heading to a triple threat. Whether it's a TLC match, I don't know. But surely you'd got to imagine that they would do something around that sort of thing. Because here's the thing. Look, I just made a little bit of fun of Edge. And I've made fun of Edge for a few years on this show now. I love them, though. I love Edge and Christian.
Same.
I've been a mark for Edge and Christian my entire wrestling fandom life. I love them as a group. I loved them when I was a teenager. I love them together now. I was out of my mind with excitement when I saw them last year. Edge is lame, but I love him. Seth Rollins is lame, but I like Seth Rollins matches, and I like Seth Rollins a lot of the time. I'm super into this, and I'm super into the idea of them doing a three-way feud. I think this is going to be great. And you can tell that now that the Edge and Christian are back, that they are putting some emphasis on this tag team division, or that they knew they were coming back, which is why they did a lot of emphasis on the tag division with FTR and the Bucks leading into Revolution.
If I am not getting my women's TLC match, please, Tony, please. Give me that for All In. Let's hear from our Patreon. If you go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk, you can get your thoughts in on Raw and Dynamite. We'll read out the best ones on this show.
And once we've done, I've got a game for you.
Every week we're doing a new fun thing.
Yeah.
Michael B says, while I enjoy Darby's matches and the variety he gives, tonight's match and presentation felt very mid-card. His persona hasn't changed over the years in AEW. I was hoping coming off the back of the Sting retirement or coming back from Everest to see a deeper shift in who he is, similar to what Hangman has done over the years. At the moment, he's not showing what he's doing different to go from future world champion to world champion.
That's a really interesting way to look at it because, what Darby is doing now is not different from Cracker Barrel three-way Darby at that first show.
Yeah. And Nathan Reese writes, I fear Darby may be for me what Jeff Hardy is for Ollie. And I'd say to Nathan, Darby is also what Jeff Hardy is for me. Then we've got PH7 says, a good Dynamite, but I do have one big complaint. this effing crowd. AEW hasn't had a crowd this bad in a while, and it made me want to turn off the show at some points. A shame that Will's first match back was wasted on them, but the actual show was quite good. So some split opinion on the quality of the show. I think it was actually a below average episode.
I think so. I think the crowd reaction was almost befitting the quality they were given. Though I will give a shout out to two people in particular. That guy behind the commentary desk that had the big WrestleTalk sign, and there was another WrestleTalk sign that can be seen during Will's entrance.
Yeah. It says, thank you so much, everyone. It's quite nice. Malcolm Burgess says, great follow-up and set up for the next pay-per-view. I wouldn't say it was a good follow-up, but it did effectively set up Dynasty.
Yeah.
Mr. Samuel Scratch says, this had an Attitude Era Raw vibe to it. A lot of awesome stuff happened, but very little of substance. But it was awesome. They flipped a car.
I mean, they did flip a car.
You can't argue with the facts.
Yeah,
they flipped a car.
They did flip a car.
Tom Shucksmith, seeing Will back wrestling was amazing. Swerve versus Omega 2 is going to feed generations next week, but nothing made me smile more than seeing you guys get recognition from some amazing fans with their WrestleTalk signs in the crowd.
Was nice. So I saw the one behind the commentary desk. I didn't see the one for Will's entrance, probably because I was writing down Will Ospreay's name in my notes on my second screen. And then a friend of mine sent me a screenshot of it, texted me being like, there's another sign. So it was really cool.
Thank you, Fresno. You're a crapper otherwise, but good at WrestleTalk signs.
Do you want to play my game first before you do the outside index?
Let's play your game.
So, we have talked on this show for the last 6 years now.
6 years?
Well, talking about Excalibur doing his Motormouth rundown of what's coming up on future episodes of Dynamite and on Collision. So I have got the rundown that he gave before the ad break in the final match and the time that he did to get it all in. So I've got all of the matches you've got to get through, and you need to give each one of them a little bit of flair as well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches to announce and a bit of flair around them. And get over it's Slam Dunk Saturday and Sunday, immediately following the NCAA tournament on Saturday and Sunday.
So is this a verbatim script? Or
it's not a verbatim script. It's just let's see how well you do at getting through those. And you've got 34 seconds to get all of this information out and tell the fans we're going to ad break. The main event will be back shortly.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Count me down.
3, 2, 1, go.
We got Slam Dunk Saturday immediately following the NCAA tournament action on both Saturday and Sunday this weekend. We'll have Carl Fletcher versus Robbie Eagles, which is teacher versus student for a TNT championship match. The Brawling Birds versus the Sisters of Sinner in tag team action. Lost Faction Ignorobus are also going to be in action. Death Riders of Daniel Garcia and Claudio Castagnoli are going to be taking on Commander and Mascara Dorada. Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong are going against Jay Lethal and Lee Johnson. Divine Dominion will be in action. Tommaso Ciampa's taking on Leo Rush. And our main event continues live on Dynamite.
30 seconds, 0.45. He got it in there.
It's not pleasant, though.
Well done, though, mate.
Cheers.
It's impressive.
Yeah. You can talk fast when I need to. Do you want the ass index?
Sure do. Wait for it.
Welcome to the Ass Index. Are you more ass than Mr. Ass? Welcome to the Ass Index. Sorry, Billy Gunn.
Sorry, Billy Gunn.
Sorry, Billy Gunn. I'm going to take from a different part because last week's was just...
That was a squash match.
Just fatalities. So let's do over here. Right. Is Matt Sydal better than Billy Gunn?
Yeah?
Evan Bourne.
Are you saying two different people? Is it like in
I don't
2K26 where you've got Chad Gable and Del Grande Americano?
Look, he's a great wrestler. He was very, big part of the independent scene in the noughties, but I cannot put him over Billy Gunn.
No, yeah.
That's fair, isn't it?
Do you know what? I did pause. And that was one of our things that we decided was that if you've really got to pause and think about it, then maybe it needs to be kind of gut reaction.
Well, this is going to be this bit is going to be more marginal than last week. Is Billy Gunn, is Braun Strowman better or worse than Billy Gunn?
I think Billy's better than Braun.
Yeah, I would put him up. Is Fit Finlay better or worse than Billy Gunn?
Fit Finlay's better than Billy Gunn.
Look, I never got into Finlay. I know he's a wrestler's wrestler, but I don't think you can... He was an undercarder for WWE.
But here's what I'm going to push back on. Fit Finlay went to the Battle of Los Angeles and had an absolutely awesome match with Kevin Steen. Billy Gunn could never.
No, but it's not just about that, is it?
No, I know.
It's about Billy Gunn's whole shtick.
And I think Fit Finlay did better at that than Billy Gunn did. Billy
I
Gunn had like 3 years in the New Age Outlaws. Fit Finlay, he was part of the JBL's court or whatever it was called.
Well, that's
Booker's
way
court.
worse. Fit Finlay had a shillelagh and hornswoggle.
Yeah.
He set the Irish stereotypes back decades.
That's WWE's fault.
Look.
I think Fit Finlay's better than Billy Gunn.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Billy Gunn is better than Fit Finlay. Okay, this one.
Flip a coin?
Let's flip a coin.
Okay.
Flip a coin.
Let me get the app. 1 second. No, not you. Dreamland. Coin flip. All right. Heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
It's tails.
Fit Finlay isn't as good as Billy Gunn. Good week for Billy Gunn. Is Alexa Bliss better or worse than Billy Gunn? I think Billy Gunn's better.
Is Billy Gunn better or worse than Alexa Bliss? Do I want the Angry Bliss comments to come after me?
That's it.
Is that what I'm worried about?
I think it's weird, isn't it? Because we've not... Oh, no, we put Natalya as worse than Billy Gunn, but most women so far we've put above. So we cannot be accused of misogyny here or gender favoritism. I just don't... I've never really gotten into Alexa Bliss. I think she's had a lot of crap stuff as well.
Yeah, she has. I think Billy Gunn is better.
Billy Gunn's better than Alexa Bliss.
I don't like that one at all. That was, someone's going to be really mad about that.
Is Andrade El Idolo better or worse than Billy Gunn?
Andrade is better than Billy Gunn.
I agree. Is Nia Jax better or worse than Billy Gunn? I think Billy Gunn's better than Nia Jax.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, Nia's hurt a lot of people as well.
Mhm.
Can't discredit that.
Is Mr. Anderson better or worse than Billy Gunn?
Nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is the easiest one since Okada. Ken Anderson is so much worse than Billy Gunn. Ken Anderson might be right at the bottom of the entire list.
That pains me, but I do agree. Here's one. Is Jey Uso better or worse than Billy Gunn?
It had to come eventually, didn't it? And I think Billy Gunn's better.
Oh,
Billy Gunn did not survive in the main event scene. He did not survive any main event pushes, but they also gave up on those main event pushes and never really truly got behind him. They tried with Ned Flanders over here.
I've got to put Jey over Billy because of the excellent tag stuff they did in the New Day in the 2010s. And I know the main event push hasn't worked, but hot damn, he was a great upper mid-carder in the Bloodline saga.
I think Billy's...
Do you think Billy Gunn's better than Jey Uso?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
Do you really think that so much that we flip another coin?
Okay, here's going to be my reasoning for it, right? Billy Gunn was given the finisher, the jackhammer, and he made that move look really awesome. Jey Uso's been given the spear. So 2 Goldberg moves, and Billy Gunn did it way better did a better Goldberg move than Jey Uso has.
Jey Uso's one half of one of the greatest tag acts in WWE
so is
history.
Billy Gunn!
But the Usos are better than the New Age Outlaws.
But that's Road Dogg's fault.
Are we
flipping another coin?
Are we flipping a coin? Oh my god.
I'll flip a coin on this one.
Flip a coin.
All right, you saying tails again?
I'm saying tails never fails.
Right, flip again. It's heads. Billy Gunn's better than Jey Uso.
Son of a bitch. Now, this is a weird one. Of course, this is a list of all wrestlers. So that means anyone who's had a match. Is Jim Ross better or worse than Billy Gunn? Don't know how to rate that one, but we've got to.
Got to, haven't we?
I think Jim Ross is better than Billy Gunn overall for wrestling.
I mean, he was the voice of a generation.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn sure wasn't. He was just in a generation.
JR is above. Is Santino Marella better or worse than Billy Gunn?
Fascinating. Fascinating. Mr. Fascinating. I think Billy's better.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know about kids in the Santino era.
That's what I was
because they
thinking.
might rank Santino higher.
Yeah, if you were 6 when Santino was doing the Cobra and you are now 22,
Yeah.
then maybe you're like, there's no way that Santino sucks.
We've got to put him beneath Billy Gunn.
I think he's beneath Billy Gunn.
Is Ilya Dragunov better or worse than Billy Gunn?
Ilya Dragunov's better than Billy Gunn.
Is Kenta better or worse than Billy Gunn?
I thought you were doing jobbers. Kenta's better.
Oh. Is Alberto El Patron better or worse than Billy Gunn?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It's a controversial person. Look, we can't...
We couldn't have foreseen this.
We-
Not in the world of wrestling.
We haven't done Vince, but I feel like we should do everybody else.
What if Benoit comes up? Is he already come up?
Oh.
Have we already done Benoit?
Have we done Benoit?
Why do I feel like we've already done Benoit?
I can't... Maybe I just deleted him off the list. I feel like we can... Let's rank Alberto El Patron. I mean, he was a world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, but not a successful
Not
one.
a successful one. Well, should we put him underneath for the...
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
where he belongs. As a
Yeah.
human being. Is Rhea Ripley better or worse than Billy Gunn?
Rhea Ripley's better.
She's better. Great. Well, that's this week.
Oof.
Good week for Billy Gunn,
Good.
though.
It's Billy's best week so far.
Yeah. And just for confirmation, Luke says Alexa Bliss is worse than Billy Gunn.
You were more on that one. I think the comments would be more favourable to me towards Jey Uso because of recency bias.
Yeah, interesting. Any recommendations before we get out of here?
Why do I feel like I did? Do you want to do yours? Because I actually can't remember what mine was going to be.
I'll do mine. So I love reality TV shows, unless it's WWE Unreal. And I feel like a lot of reality TV recently has become very snacky. As in, there's no substance to them, and it's all recaps, and it's all fabricated drama. You do not feel better about yourself after you've watched it.
Yeah.
But there is a golden kind of reality show where you feel like, I learned something there. OG Big Brother was a social experiment, and it was kind of fascinating. Like, this is human dynamics. The original Married at First Sight.
Yes.
A
was an
social experiment.
Yeah.
Date putting people together. Bits of first dates I really like. 24 hours in A&E, that sort of stuff. I present to you Channel 4's new show, Handcuffed.
Oh, right, where you're handcuffed together. Is it like Race Across the World?
It's not a perfect format. They don't know. They clearly don't know what the show is meant to be.
Yeah.
But the core bit is so strong, it overcomes the weird fact that it always starts in front of a live studio audience with Jonathan Ross.
Oh.
Then they completely move away from that, and that never comes up again.
So what did the live audience do afterwards?
Go home, I guess. Because the rest of it is just an on-the-road docuseries. But what it is, you are handcuffed to someone, and you've got to last 28 days.
Just handcuffed together.
Just handcuffed together. The only time you can have a slightly longer chain is when you have a poo. You have to wee next to each other. You have to shower next to each other. And what they do is they put together complete opposites. So you had someone who declared themselves as an alpha male. He was handcuffed to a plus-size, body positivity woman.
The idea being that maybe they'll learn something from each other.
That's the dream case scenario, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
I mean, the dream case scenario would be that they fight a lot.
Yeah. Well, one of the great bits is you'll be following this couple and you'll go, and then one of them will get annoyed. There's little hammers all over the house or wherever they are, so they can break it
Hit
at
each
any
other.
time. Yeah, just murder each other. So you can unlock the handcuffs, and they unlock it, and you're like, oh my God, I bet they were together for a week or something. The amount we've seen, the amount of things they've done. I can't take this anymore. It's too much, but 14 hours. You're like, what? They only tell you how long they've been together when they break up.
That's fun.
It's really well done. And yeah, the sort of the contrasts of people they put together. I don't know if it'll be for everyone, but if you like that kind of trash, this is at least a kind of trash where you feel like you get an insight into the nation as a whole.
Because you would like to think that they put those two people together because maybe one of them, the bloke, will learn something about some of his quite outdated, silly opinions that he has. But maybe the cynical reality is going to be, and I've heard this firsthand from people who worked on Big Brother, or there's certainly the celebrity version, put her in because she'll likely sleep with someone. And they have got much more of a, now if we put them in, he'll say something dumb, and that could get us some social media virality.
I really don't get the sense that that's how they've produced this show.
That's what
it feels. It feels way better.
There's a cynical part of me that knows how a lot of these shows are made, and then the casting decisions that go into it.
Give it a watch. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay. I forgot what my thing was going to be now. Oh, that was going to be it. Yeah, sorry. Speaking of thick people, the Louis Theroux Manosphere documentary on Netflix. I watched it last weekend. I was not shocked watching it because it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, which is thick people said thick things, and Louis Theroux stood there in silence and let the thick things that they said just permeate in the air. And those people can then have a bit of reflection on the thick things they've just said, then double down with an even further thick thing being said. Having said that, I'm glad that it's sparking a lot of conversation, and it's sparking some interesting takes on these thick people and kind of exposing them for how thick that they are, and the thick things that they say, and why they are just saying them because it is just making them money. And really, they probably don't believe a lot of the thick things that they are saying, but they've now conditioned themselves into saying them because that is a way for you to make money from, unfortunately, other thick people.
Sounds like you watched quite a biased cut of what actually happened.
Yeah.
I think if you watch HS Tiki Toki's version of events, he owned Louis Theroux. You know what? He actually really exposed Louis Theroux because he once did a documentary with Jimmy Savile.
Yeah, he is quite an unpleasant fellow, and I think, I hope, will one day grow up and realise that he once called himself HS Tiki Toki, which is one of the most cringeworthy, and I'm trying not to use the C-bomb things I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, I don't know, because as bad as HS Tiki Toki is, we saw Avenge the weekend.
No, but that's lame. This is like just, that's so that's so cringy.
No, come on, Edge is worse than HS Tiki Toki. That's what we're saying here.
So cringe. So cringe.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here today. Please go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk, where you can watch our Invasion series, and we got Monday Night War over there that's really cooking. And tomorrow we'll have a little Ramble Club episode with me, Laurie, and Luke having a couple of Fosters.
It did. It's effing Patreon season.
It's effing Patreon season, where we talk about some of the moments over the last decade of us doing WrestleTalk here. And yeah, scan that QR code. It will subscribe you to the podcast. But for now, I've been Ollie Davis. That's been Luke and DAD. Jam that jam.
Jam that jam.